Oh, I wish I would have just eased that out a little bit. I just stopped it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's your girl Shantizi, and we are live on Cumntalk podcast.
And it's your favorite stylist, Kim Dillinger, the fashion gangster.
Yo, this is how you know Kim has been in the business for a long time.
What an intro.
I don't even have an intro yet. Right. I gotta work on it.
She got a slogan.
I gotta work on it. Like, she's always on point. And we have a very special guest in the building. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
How you doing? You got Hollywood Productions in the building. Music producer, stockbroker, real estate, hustler.
Before I even let you go any further, I have to go back.
Let's go.
I gotta go back.
Let's go.
And you might not know this. I always talk about this, like in every interview I do or whatever. People ask me like, "What made you start doing radio? What made you start doing podcasting?" I kid you not. This guy, I met him over 10 years ago.
You were 19.
I was about 19,
Wow.
yeah. And I was just, whatever. We'd just be talking on the phone and say, actually we went out. We went somewhere, and he was like, anybody ever told you have a real good radio voice? I'm like, no. What does that mean? He's like, you should think about it. And I started doing my blogging, and he was just like, you should get into radio. And it's just like everything just started flowing after that.
Absolutely.
So every time I talk about it, you come up. I just hope you know that.
Thank you. Give me my flowers.
Yes.
You already know. You already know.
Yep.
And we are here years later, and me still in this thing, and I gotta give it up to you because you really did show me my passion. You said one thing and it's like
absolutely. Then you just went off running.
Period. Everything just flowed together.
I love it, and you guys are still connected.
When it's meant for you, it just goes after that.
Everything just started coming together, and we'll get into the law of attraction and all of that because you taught me that as well.
You already know.
But just to kick it off, we're gonna do a few topics on TZT. Okay. We don't really have that much because what we got going on is more important right now. But I really wanted to get into this Kanye running for president situation to see if I could get y'all thoughts on it.
First of all, I think he just checked himself into a hospital.
Well, he didn't. Apparently, he went in for 10 minutes and came back out.
Okay.
Really? That's new news. I didn't even hear that. Really?
Okay. Yeah, he went in for about 10 minutes and came back out. But just him running for president part, do you guys, what I get from Kanye besides the mental illness, I get that he's a person that if he puts his mind to something, he's going to absolutely
do it.
I feel like he genuinely wants to be president. However, I also see the steps that he takes whenever he's about to come up with an album.
Exactly. It's the same rollout. Every time he has a rollout, he alludes to wanting to be president. At the end of the day, he knows how his words are powerful, and he mimics he manipulates everybody and trolls and brings it. He's not running for no president.
Exactly.
But he's smart though. He knows how his words are powerful. He can manipulate people to think what he needs them to think.
And he knows how to draw all the attention to him.
Exactly. He probably ain't running for a president, but he is the GOAT of manifestation.
Yeah.
He can literally, he went on a Breakfast Club and they told him, yo, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't do that. He manifested everything he ever said at the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
That's a different type of person.
Yeah. And that all goes into what we're going to talk about later with the law of attraction. Some people know the secret, some people don't.
Absolutely.
And we're going to get into that. But I think it's bullshit. And I think I know he's genuinely thinking, what y'all talk? I could do this. I could do whatever. That's the persona I get from him. But it's bullshit. Right now we're in the worst position I've ever seen in my lifetime. I'm sure that there's been worse, but in my lifetime, just the way this country is being ran, period.
Right.
And right now we don't need another celebrity in the White House. We just don't. A celebrity who don't even think slavery was something that was done to us as opposed to us accepting it. So that was it. I just wanted to get y'all thoughts on this Kanye thing. And him speaking against the family. I saw that. Him calling, who he called?
Harriet Tubman. No, man.
He called the mother, what's her name? Kris Jenner, the Chinese guy, Kung Feng King. Oh my God, y'all don't know
What?
what I'm talking about.
I don't pay attention to everything that happens because
I gotta look that
it's
up.
overwhelming.
He was his tweets, his Twitter fingers. He was going crazy. We already have a president in the White House that Twitter fingers is crazy. We can't deal with Kanye. And then the next thing, just the last little thing I wanted us to brush over was the August Alsina and
The entanglement.
the entanglement.
I did not watch The Red Table yet with Jada and Will.
You
but
should.
You
I
should.
okay.
You should. I think you
It was
should.
a little weird though.
You know, the thing is, it's weird because they lived it already. Now they got to relive it with everybody being a
watching.
part of it. If it's 2-3 years old and we talking about it now, of course it's weird.
It's
Yeah.
weird in a sense of just the.
I think August should not have said anything.
Of course.
Come on now. Come on.
I
now.
Of course.
Bro. We get it.
Don't
like,
clout chase, bro.
Yeah.
And
Like-
then so many years later, you know, but then I also get predatorial vibe from Jada now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Be real.
Nah, man.
Not Jada. No.
It's a-
You see, and this is the issue. You guys love her so much that you guys aren't seeing what's wrong with the situation. He's a child.
Nah, he's not a child, one. And on top of that, you gotta understand, when people build a connection, no matter what it is, it just happens. He was an adult. Like, he came into the game an adult.
He came.
Know what I mean?
He came to her for help.
Listen, at the end of the day, we don't know what he came to her for.
She said it.
Listen, that sounds good, but we don't know what he came there for. He got to get in where he fit in. Let me get next to Jada Pinkett. I need a little help.
Damn, I don't know. I'm not jacking it. I'm not jacking it. I really do
Hollywood,
feel
you got
like
that one.
Come on, man.
I feel like she took
I need
advantage.
help. I need Will Smith and Jada's help too.
you want Jada's approval. I mean, Will's. Excuse
Come
me.
on, man.
Nah, but I think it's a little bit weird, but it's much like a lot of people have been saying. They've been living like this. They've been living like that. We just hear it and we make it a big thing. And it really did take away for at least a week. It took away from everything that's
that was
going
happening.
on. Breonna Taylor, the officers who killed her, is still not arrested. They're still walking around. Elijah McClain, still walking around. There's still a lot going on. Now, I don't know this race war thing that they're trying to do, who's pulling the strings. It's still a little weird to me, but these people did die regardless of what the circumstances, who's pulling the strings, what's the real bigger reason for all of these little things. There's a girl that was in her house sleeping and she's dead.
You're right.
That just doesn't sit well with my spirit at all.
Well, you know, I'm be honest with the political thing. We don't dictate what's going on. We pass the power to our presidents, and we have the power. You know what I mean? Like,
and we don't know that. We don't act like it. And then there's a lot of thing with not being educated, because prior to, I'm gonna be honest, I'm always like honest. Prior to all of this, I wasn't paying attention to politics. I didn't give a fuck. Like,
Me too. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't care. But now look at these things that are happening. Like, can you imagine if I would have known who's the person that's in the office for my neighborhood, for my borough? You know what I mean? I didn't know these things. And that's the ignorance that we continue, and then they do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we all born in a state of ignorance, and then it's up to us to get out of that and figure out. The more self-aware you are, you start caring about other people. And a lot of people that don't care about other people, they're just not self-aware with themselves. Know what I mean? So that's what that's about. You have to get more in tune with yourself for me to care about somebody else next to them.
100%. Well, I want us to get into the interview. I have a lot of things that I want us to cover. First of all, I want to give you my deepest condolences.
Thank you so much.
I know
Thank you
this
so
year
much.
was a rough year to you. You lost your mom.
Yes, it's a rough one. I'm not gonna lie. 2020 was definitely like crazy, crazy. But at the end of the day, like, you gotta just take it for what it is. Grieve fully, and just use that to pedestal what you're going to do into the next thing you're going to do. Like, you know, you're going to propel into the next situation because of that. You can't. Pain is something you can't control, but suffering is something you can control. You don't want to keep suffering. So go through your pain naturally, but suffering is something that's something you doing to yourself at this point. So I'm past the pain, and I'm just got to keep it pushing.
That's what's up. That's
You're
what's
like
up.
a king.
I know you're still mourning your kid's dad. Like, is it like
every
that
day.
for you, where you're able to pass the struggle and?
Yeah, I think I use the pain from losing him to just keep going. I'm like, I gotta win because I know he has my back. I know, like, I have a guardian angel. Like, a lot of things that I go through, like, sometimes some of my best days are his birthday. Like, I get major jobs on his birthday. Something major happened with my kids on his birthday. You know, so I know that he's there with me 100%.
That's what's up.
That's beautiful, and that's a good POV, like to recognize that all these great things happen around that day.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's powerful.
That's what's up. And I love that you're able to still be positive. I knew that. I knew that. There's not a negative bone in this man, so I knew that.
You gotta stay away from the negativity. It's too heavy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Now, I know you are working with a new artist.
Yes.
Can we get into that?
Yeah, we can get into that. Her name is Javon Bubbles. I met her. She's from Jersey, but she lives uptown right now. But her roots are from Jersey. She actually does the independent radio scene too. She has her own radio show.
That's
she
what's
sings and she raps. We got 2021 was my goal to release something anyway.
Okay.
Prior to Corona, like last year, I said, yo, we're gonna take this year to record, shoot visuals, and then release everything 2021. So we're just going on as planned. Period. So
Regardless
of what Corona was, I already had Corona planned without knowing. You know what I mean? I'm prophetic. You heard?
You know what, I feel you, because I just started managing an artist, and we did the same thing. So when we shut down during Corona, I'm like, oh yeah, the EP's already recorded. We shot a
So you
couple
were able to drop
videos already.
Excellent.
All we got to do is press a button.
Oh, that's excellent.
That's it.
That's excellent.
Now, you have been grinding in this industry from before my time. So we talked about it in the beginning of the episode 12 years ago.
Yeah.
He's been grinding 10 years before me.
Yeah.
How do you keep your sanity seeing what I'm gonna say mediocre things get put on before the actual talent that you have?
That's a good. You know the thing about it is, when you running your race, I'm really not worried. I take a peek, but I don't stare, and I stay focused, because you got to understand, if you want to be great, don't compare yourself to people that's not great.
Period.
Just because you're on, that doesn't mean you're great.
Period.
And I only want to be around greatness, so I don't even stare about, oh, he's on. I appreciate what they got going on, because sometimes you need something just for energy. It don't need to be great quality, you know. It's not always that, but when it comes to your stuff, you just hold yourself to a certain standard. You stay there. When you focusing on yourself, you ain't got time to focus on other people, and that's an old one. Like, you know, like, we can't focus on when this person sounds terrible and all that. Nah, focus on what you're doing. If you want to be Beyonce, Jay-Z, Drake, Alicia Keys, all these people, you work at that 10,000 hours and keep pushing.
That's
I
what's
agree.
up. That's what's up.
agree.
I know you're also into real estate. Now, I want to get into that
All right,
because I want to eventually start investing. And for a person like me who have absolutely zero experience, what would you suggest?
Well, I'm gonna be real. I just started the real estate, but I acquired enough. Well, if it wasn't for Corona, I will probably have a property right now. But I found a way where people with little to no money, you could take ownership and get this thing. Like, you could get a house for $2,000, and we ain't talking about like no.
You gotta have amazing credit.
Nah, we don't need no credit. You don't need no mortgage. You just need your money. That's it. Like, I'll give you the short synopsis of it. Basically, what happens is, people don't pay their taxes. So when they don't pay their taxes go delinquent, and the county needs their money to run their county. So basically, let's say, for example, a person owes $2,000 on a property. So if they don't pay it and they haven't paid it in 2 years, whatever, now the total is $2,000. Their taxes are officially delinquent. So once they're delinquent, the county has a sale, what they call a tax sale. They have a tax sale and a deed sale. So when they have a tax sale, they go, all right, we're selling your taxes. Now, if in certain states and counties, once you go to the tax sale and you give them y'all bidding and whatever who got the highest bid, once within a certain amount of time, they don't pay you back, the property is yours. And then there's certain states where once you leave the auction, the property is yours, whatever you paid for it. So you look into deed sale and tax sale is a low, affordable way to get property. But the only bad thing about it is, which is a big bad thing, you got to do your due diligence, and you can't go in the property to see what it's really working with it. Wow. So you're taking a risk. Wow. But I tell people like this, like there's people I've seen who had they spent $2,500 on $100,000 property, and the property was really worth $100,000. So
do you at least get the address where you could Google Map it?
Of course, but I'm gonna be real. Google Map is not it. I've seen situations where people Google Map things and the property's not even there no more. So you have to physically, when you doing out of state things, because I'm working on Alabama and Philly, those are my first two places. You got to have what they call boots on the ground, where they can see the physical property, see what it's looking like, see how the damage is looking like, and go from there. But basically in a nutshell, that is a cheap, affordable way to get ownership. And the best thing, what I'm going to do is like, you do that and you sell it to other investors. So say, for example, the property,
you don't even got to fix it up.
Come on now. We don't even got to do the work. Now, say if the property is worth, let's just say $90,000 and I get it for $5,000. I'll be like, hey, you know what? After repair value, your shit'll be $120. You could give it to me for, here go $50,000, you can have it.
Look at that.
Come on.
Y'all learning something
today. Shoot, I'm
Come on. We're going to talk stock. We're going to talk real estate. We're going to talk all that.
Now, what I see is a lot of people that look like you and I are really pushing people to get into real estate.
Yes.
Why is that? Do you know, or do you have an idea?
Of course. I know why I'm getting into it. Of course. It's about economic empowerment. You talk about who's the president. It doesn't matter when we run it. And how you run a country is having economic empowerment. You must have a system. You must have a bank. You must have people with money. You must have land. Like, we can't do none of that. You could be protesting all you want. If you ain't got no money, we not moving nothing.
That's a fact.
So, that's a fact. Stock and real estate, I need everybody to stop playing and get into that. Like,
now, let's get into the stock, because everybody always tell me to do it, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know how to do it. Like,
it's not.
There's a lot of people like me. It's that ignorance. How do you teach somebody who doesn't know how to get into stock or the importance of it? Like, what would you say?
Stock is like so valuable. Like, it's very, very important. Like, the thing about stock is and this goes to real estate too, we have these things based on a pedestal that is unreachable in our minds, and it's really not as complicated as it is. We make it more complicated than what it is. Like, really, I tell people, first of all, what stock is, when you first get in, you should invest in things that you know about. Like, you be like, all right, like for me, what made me get in was I'm vegan, so I was like, yo, let me go get Beyond Meat stock, because I know vegan is gonna be hitting. Like, so let me get into that. I'm thinking futuristic, and I'm thinking things that I like. So you get in with things you know. All right, let me get in with Costco. Let me see Costco. Costco's a good one. Let me get in with Apple. You get into that, and then you recognize the patterns, you recognize that, and then you start venturing off into other stocks. So
when you put into stock, what do you get back? What do you expect? When do you expect to get back?
Now that one we can't predict. If we was predicting, I'd be your studio be in the $1 million studio. I done put you in a $1 million studio. We done made a bunch of money already. But you can't predict. But what you can do is like based on, I have a formula. Like I study momentum of stock. I see, all right, it's picking up steam. It's picking up steam. Okay, let me jump in now because it seemed like it's about to go. And it may not go that week. It may not go next month. But I'm usually in that range between a week and a month. Yes or no? I done put everybody, made them thousands of dollars. Yeah, I made them. I made his boy like $1,600 in a day. Like, yeah, like.
All right, I gotta sign up. I gotta find a stock to sign up with. I wanted to sign up with the Popeyes chicken sandwich. That's what I wanted to go in with.
Let me give you a number. This is not for like fronting. This is just saying I just give people aspirational numbers of what I made in a great period, so they can feel motivated to do it. Like in a real great strip of time in like 3-4 days, I made $8,000. So I would tell everybody to get familiar with this thing because stock is a beautiful way. That's another way of economic empowerment. Like you get into that stock and definitely, and I'll add you to my group because my group, what I do is I post stocks that's eventually about to take off. And
because you're studying it, right?
Yeah, and other people in the group also, so they know, okay, so we're posting stock that just goes. Like on Friday, I made like $800 in a day. I didn't even leave my house. Like,
wow.
So it's like you can really, and this weekend I invested in the cryptocurrency for the first time. And yesterday I made $60 already in like a couple hours, less than 24 hours.
Right,
so
by just investing.
Yeah, you gotta just get in and trust me, it's worth it. Like at the end of the day, like if you're around people that are talking this type of talk, it becomes part of your dialogue and part of your culture.
And you understand
you start understanding it much easier. Like, because I haven't even been doing it long. I started in Corona. I was like, let's go.
Oh, you started in Corona and you made $8,000?
I mean, more than that, but that was in that 3 day.
Wow.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. It's not... It just, you gotta it's one of those things you just gotta dive in. It's what they say is it's better to have time in the market than trying to time the market.
Got you.
So put that time in and things will manifest.
Now, you're also someone who's big on entrepreneurship.
Oh, of course.
You push that, and you're an entrepreneur yourself.
Yes.
You don't even work for people. I didn't know it, but when I knew you, I didn't know you for working for people. Like for as long as I've known him.
I've definitely had a job. I've definitely had a job in spurts. Then I'm not working. Then I'm working. Then I'm not working.
When I knew him, he didn't work for nobody. Okay, not that I know. He was the boss. But you push entrepreneurship, and with the way the world is going now, Black business, everyone is really highlighting these things. How do you encourage a young Black entrepreneur they have the mind,
right?
But what are the tools that you would say, okay, this person needs to do this, and then you'll be on the right track to whatever you attract?
Off back, I gotta tell everybody, the cheat code to everything is the straight cheat code to everything is reading and audiobooks. That is the cheat code of how you beat everything in life. If you want to dive into something, get the book and read it, and get the audiobook. If you're not into reading, get the audiobook. We all learn differently, and certain audiobooks are better than the regular book, because I do both. Like, like I'll do the book and I'll do the audiobook. But if you want to do something, you have to read and look into it. You have to put the time into it, like how to start a business, how to do this, how to do that.
That's one thing you've always said to me with the books. But some of my favorite books that I've read was you put me on to that book to read it.
You have to read if you want to win in this world. If you want to be really great at what you want to do, you have to read and do the audio books and put that time in to learn, because learning is progressive, and you want to be progressive.
Especially if you want to talk about it. If you want to talk about something, much like the Nick Cannon situation, I understood where he was coming from, but it's just like you also have to really educate yourself.
Absolutely.
On it to really speak on it.
Now, I'm gonna go into that briefly because I know people that know him and it's just a 7th degree of separation, so I'm not gonna go into detail, but a lot of things he said were very truthful. But
100%.
But understand.
And I believed what he said about the Jews. Period.
All right, but we ain't gonna go too much of that because we understand we're playing in a system that we don't own.
Yeah.
And if we want to play in that system, it's certain rules. And the thing about it is, he has to play the rules. So he has to apologize in a manner that's.
I think that's bullshit, though.
But
while I do believe some of what he said, like saying them. All of them are evil and the melanated skin and all of that. I get where he was trying to go, but I didn't necessarily agree with that. What he did say about the Jews, I'm going to say it. It is what it is. I'm going to say it. I agree with that. If you read it, if you look up to it, you see. Absolutely. You can't be ignorant to it because you're afraid of what they might do. It is what it is. Like, it's the truth. If we're not ready to talk about the truth, we're never going to address the real issues.
Let me chime in though real quick. People don't understand about that interview. People think it's more about what he said. People don't understand. It's more who he did an interview with. People don't understand. He said these type of things before. That person that he did that interview with is like banished, like
from the Jewish community,
from everything. They took that man's
black sheep.
They took that man's passport away, and he couldn't fly for like 5 years because of the things that he says.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not just about what it's not about what Nick Cannon said. It's also about who he interviewed with. If you pull up that man, Professor Griff, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
But people, that's what I'm saying. He has to be the person who, I don't think he should have apologized. That's my opinion. You got to stand 10 toes on what you say.
They all do it. We just seen Steve Harvey do it last year. We seen another person do it the year before. This is a cycle.
You can't apologize because what you do is you make it seem like what you said was entirely wrong, and it's not.
But you know what? And I'm gonna keep it real. And this is why this is very important. We, no matter what, especially when you work, we all bow out no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what. When you go to work, no matter how we cut it, we're bowing out.
Period.
So Nick Cannon is just bowing out on a bigger level.
But he knows what he means.
Because we all do it. Because even if I don't want to throw Bel Air in the dirt, but you know, like even then, like let's just say we're on Facebook and Facebook doesn't support all our agendas, but we're still on there. So you get what I mean? Because we have to understand we use a lot of rebel, but we got to also use a lot of logic to get to the next level. Know what I mean?
Now, that brings me to the next question I wanted to ask you about the cancel culture. Now you see everybody canceling Nick Cannon, and you know people get canceled all the time.
Every day now.
I don't agree with the cancel culture, but you being a music producer, how do you feel about this cancel culture?
I feel like now we're just running into it too frequently. I feel like it's like now we're doing it at a drop of a hat when people just clearly make mistakes, and let's give them a chance to rebuttal that and fix that, but. It's our culture. We make our culture disposable. We want to dispose people very quickly.
Their entire history.
Right, like in a drop of a hat. In other cultures, they don't do that. But that has something to do with our self-hate. We don't love ourselves, so it's easier for us to hate you. Like, know what I mean? So, and and the thing about it is we start throwing these stigmas. Oh, you Illuminati or you not. A lot of people just worked hard to get where they at. Don't be mad at them. Don't be mad because Beyonce was sitting next to you in class. You're not Beyonce. Like, go figure it out. Like, don't start throwing dirt because of that. Because now every black person that's successful, they got something. They have an asterisk over their head, and it's just not right. It's terrible.
What he said, the whole Beyonce situation. That's the same thing with me and my friend. Remember the thing I'm telling you about? It's like we both have the same opportunity. Like, we can both get it. Why are you upset that I'm getting it and you're not? Work harder.
That's just
you
people.
have to work hard. You can't expect me to
sometimes you need those type of people, right?
You do.
Sometimes it depends on what type of person you are.
You just make sure they're not around you. Yeah, but sometimes you need those type of people for a push.
Right, because that could be toxic. Because like when you walk in, and when you're around bad energy enough, it spills over. Off.
Yeah,
man, and you can't have too much of that around. But yeah, a little Far away motivation. I heard what you said.
Oh, you mad? You mad?
I'm non-responsive. I don't even like respond to the madness.
Right.
I have work to do. Like,
exactly.
I don't have time to play around.
Right.
Speaking of work to do you have anything coming up? Any song maybe that we could look out for?
Or something we can hear right now?
I mean, I could play something right now. Why not? I'm gonna email it to you. Why not?
Yes.
Man,
But
this is
yeah,
rough, but we're gonna go into it.
It's the cancel culture thing. I'm really not here for it. I try my best to not let social media dictate how I respond to a lot of the things that I see. You know, it just can't take away people's entire career because they made a mistake.
Right, absolutely.
I thought freedom of speech. That's how he feels.
Yeah, but you can't be offensive. You can't be ignorant. And I think they're calling him, from what my research that I've done, anybody that says something bad about Jews, you're anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Anybody. Whereas I have seen people talk bad about black people on all of these platforms that he inspired from.
It's about us.
But when it's about us, you don't get tarnished. You don't get none of that. Yeah, you don't get none of that. But when it's about Jews, that goes to show you there's a little truth to what Nick was saying. Yeah. Their power, their money, is deeper than we understand.
No, I understand.
It's deeper than we want to talk about.
Yeah. You know.
But it's deep.
It is.
And we cannot be afraid to face the things that the average person is afraid to face, because then we'll never get to anywhere.
But you know what it is though? One thing you gotta understand, you gotta have strategy, and it has to have timing. You can't put yourself in a position where you can't work, because if you don't have no power, you don't have no money, you can't help us move forward. And at the end of the day, timing is everything. Sometimes you gotta take the loss and build your own infrastructure on the side. Then you can be like, kiss my ass. You feel me? But you can't say kiss my ass until your infrastructure's in place, because now you're moving off emotion more than logic, and it's not strategy. Now I mean, you gotta be strategic. You can't just make moves and when you feel like it, you gotta do it. It puts.
It's not like my friend.
Yes, you want position and everybody else in position. Yeah.
Just chill, just be it. Yeah. Not know.
Me too. I'm very goalie. I speak, but I had to learn timing. Like, yo, timing matters. Like, yes, it's great to be transparent and speak your truth, but know the timing of it.
So I'm gonna go ahead and play the song that you sent me. You wanna introduce it for me?
This is a little rough draft of Black Sheep, featuring Devon Bowles, and let's go. I think we're gonna put like 2 minutes in it, so let's go.
Welcome to Realestate Productions.
People say that I'm a bad bitch, but I'm just trying to survive in these moments. And then you I tell it to his head. I might get 10 more, but then they always judge me. I'm a fucking black shit. I'm going on to the thing. There's me, so I'm not walking. It's the present, I'm a daddy, that's me. Listen to my own devices, left them in the streets. Yeah, I'm not talking, I mean no fucking. But it's so hard, my money on me. Niggas wanna call me, get inside my ass. Trying to joke me, I'm a fucking black shit. See what you get is what you see. The honesty's so bad, you can't tag me. So when I'm trying to say, I'm Lucy. I'm different niggas, but that's being me. Scared about your feelings, this shit ridiculous. I'm about to do hard, as a nigga fake. Been all the laying attention, no one was paying me. I'm a fucking black shit. What's so much for the read? I'm being a kid, it's part of my story. That is okay, something that's part of me. But now it's scared, cause it's scary, cutting me. Negativity, trying to drown me. But now I'm feeling, I'm rising from the head. Keep on growing, I keep on blowing. You can never stop me, I'm a motherfucking queen.
Okay, you're what she said, she's a motherfucking queen. Period. So what is your inspiration in which artist? Like, you are somebody that I know don't just work with anybody.
Nah, that's a fact. You gotta be. I feel like there's the 10,000 hour rule. I just want to work with people that are damn near at their 10,000s or past it. That means the time you put into your craft.
Right.
To be great. And
right.
When you put the time in, people hear it. And that's just what it is. I just want to work with people that want to be great.
Well, you can hear it. My voice is so smooth.
That's what's up. Now, the last thing I want us to go over, which is something that you pretty much taught me. Again, you met me when I was about 19. I'm not the same person I was when you met me.
Obviously.
A lot of how I am. A lot of who I am now is from that initial meet, and that's just, it just goes to show you how some people just brush past their life for a period of time and it really make a big impact on your life.
Absolutely.
Now, one thing that you taught me in the short time that we 10 years ago, 12 years ago, was the law of attraction.
Absolutely.
And the way I used that to manifest in my life at that time, because sometimes the devil may test you when you might lose your way, but the law of attraction, I'm gonna let you get into it, but I understand it, but I want you to share it to people who may believe that we're crazy. What the fuck you mean law of attraction? Get into it for me. Drop some jewels.
Well, basically, it's just knowing that your thoughts control your whole universe around you, and that we have thoughts going past, but it's the ones that you grab and hold are the ones that you can attract. And as I learned though, thoughts are powerful, but when you believe your thoughts, that's when you can manifest things even faster. And one of the ways that I tell people, like, thoughts are amazing, but when you believe it, you can manifest it quickly. And the key to believing yourself is repetition. So the thing, if you really want to manifest your thoughts, keep doing what you're doing and keep trying to get better at it and progress it, and you will attract everything you want into this world.
It works like that for negative, right?
Let me get into the negative too. The thing about it is, like, people understand, people manifest negative by saying, like, yo, I'm broke, I can't do this, I can't do that. So the universe responds in that way and says, yeah, more broke. Yeah, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. So whenever you have that thought, you can't repeat that. You gotta brush that to the side and reverse that. And be like, nah, I can't do it. Why can't I? I know I can. You know, even in the book they refer, this is a crazy example.
Is this The Secret?
Yeah, even in the book The Secret, the lady wanted to get, this is about to get a little deep, follow me, y'all.
No, go ahead. No, that's not watching.
This is about to get a little deep. We keep it short. The lady in the book, she wanted to manifest a husband. But yeah, so the thing about it is, but she was doing everything wrong and she didn't know it. So for example, and she had a 2-car garage, but she would park in the middle of the garage. How do you want to manifest a husband if you're parking in the middle of the garage? You gotta park to the right side so you can leave space for that, so for the universe to come into that. If you're sleeping in your bed, leave space on that side for that husband to come. That's you manifesting things. Like you gotta be.
That's why I'm celibate. I honestly believe, no, for real. I honestly believe that the more meaningless attachment that I have with people, no matter how old, but I'm still looking for a man, but right now he's the one doing this for me, and we're not together, but we're just doing this. It's not good. Because then I'm holding up a space that a person, how's God gonna send this person in this space if I got somebody else satisfying these little temporary needs? You know what I mean? It's not worth it no more.
Right, temporary needs leads into temporary long satisfaction. No, you keep changing temporary needs to instant gratification, turns into long-term gratification, but it's still
not what you need. Exactly.
What you need,
and you always have amazing books that you can suggest to people like me, people who are listening. What are some good books that if someone is really looking for, because I think we're in a very spiritual time.
Yes.
People are seeking real spiritual healing, cleansing, and some people don't even know they need it. Because that's all it is. Everybody thinks there's this bigger thing going on. It's really just spiritual. It's spiritual. It just depends on what you attach your spirituality to.
I didn't even tell you. I'm about to get baptized.
Yes, honey, as you should.
My mom was like, I don't understand you. You love God so much. You need to promise you grandma.
Make sure you're ready.
No, I'm ready. I've always been ready. I needed my husband to kind of be prepared for that.
For change that's gonna come.
Exactly. And she's like, you're married, so that's good. You just gotta get your husband on the same page with you. And your mom started discussing. So we started taking like the marriage therapies with more Christian married couples.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And my husband's like, you always wanted to be like Pastor Kim or something. And I'm like, they don't make fun of it, but I more want to give my life to God because I felt closer to him. When my grandmother died 3 years ago, like I changed a lot in a person. And even being quarantined, I didn't even notice that. So I'm like, I really don't need to be around people.
It's a lot of things that happen during quarantine that we
my spirit felt so good.
At peace.
Yes.
Even all this craziness that was going on in the world.
Still.
And I don't know, my spirit just told me to say rest in peace for the Godson. I know you won't fret, I know you won't rest.
Yeah.
Rest in peace for the Godson. Because Corona really did shake us up. Why am I this Corona? Because again, I still think it's a little weird. Because we had a lot of protesting the other day and I ain't know
I want the same thing. Like how is this thing moving?
I was definitely in the Black Lives Matter protest with my thing up.
That's what I'm saying.
I ain't get Corona. So I'm a little bit weird on that, but they say mask up.
Hey.
But I got my third eye open on this whole situation.
Listen, one of the keys of this is challenge everything.
Everything.
If you ain't challenging everything, you would no disrespect, you're a sheep when you go.
Period. In life, period. How is it that you're telling me that I need to wear a mask to do something, even though just in March, that man, I don't remember his name, I don't want to talk, I know everything, I don't remember his name, it's the guy from the CDC.
You talking about Dr. Fauci?
Yes, he said no mask. This was in March. He said I don't see you don't need to wear a mask. And these people that they're calling Karens and Kens, I know they're freaking out about this mask thing, and it's a little weird how they're freaking out, but I get it. I get it. In the beginning, I was masked up. Like what? No, this is weird. But now when you really sit down and think about things, it's like, yo, so how come this entire state about a mask and this state about a mask and everybody alright and these two people died and the whole it's just all weird.
Listen, this goes back to what she was just saying, which I was just saying, spiritual. But this goes back to that in a way. Yo, guard your immune system. That is your first line against everything. I don't care what's going on in life. Understand, when Corona's over, I need everybody to be guarding their immune system with their life. I want you to understand the importance of this. No, it happened already a couple times. Just they played it out different and it created greater waves.
So like, what we're thinking is, and I like how you said waves. What we're thinking is just people just get sick. No, it's because our immune system is already being attacked by other forces, by us just simply not taking care of ourselves.
I'm gonna dive into a little bit. I'm gonna dive into a little bit. I know too much. Like we have to understand, like it's simple. There's no way we can eat dead stuff and feel alive. No. And you have to understand.
I eat a fish.
Let's be in live fish that move around. You know what Jamaican you can't eat dead and feel alive. And we have to guard our immune system. We should all know we should really only go and see our doctor for broken bones and brokenness. We should be able to subside ourselves and know our bodies enough to know what we need. Yes, I know you should know about herbs. I take herbs, you need the meat, you know about all of that. You definitely do, but definitely everybody understand meat is not the way. I loved it, cheese, I loved it, it's amazing, it's addictive, but understand it's taken away from us. Every day it erodes your dang immune system. It makes your immune system decay.
And I feel the difference, like with me doing my keto. I know I've been doing the keto diet for a few months now. And now me transitioning from my keto with meat to keto with seafood. I feel the difference. There's an actual difference in how my body feels as opposed to when I eat meat. There's that heavy, sluggish feeling when I have this meat in my system until it comes out, digests itself or whatever. There's a physical difference. So I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, people understand. The thing about it is you're tired from eating meat because your body has to use the energy to process that.
Break it down.
So I'm gonna give you a simple example. If your body is using the energy to break down your food, how can it work on these other problems that's manifesting in your body? So think about it. Your immune system is an army. 75 of us gotta go deal with this meat. 25 of us can't gotta go deal with this. So now we losing 100% that's over here.
Man.
So now over here is where the problems start to fester because the army is not exactly where they need to be. So exactly instead of having focus, like because then the mucus it multiplies, then it manifests into disease. First sickness, then disease, and then that's how it goes on from there, man. Like simple as that. But guard your immune system.
Guard your immune system. If you have to say anything, because we're about to wrap it up. If you have to say anything to a person that's listening, I want you to say some inspirational shit.
I'm gonna just give a couple books that I feel like are necessary in people's lives. Like basically one, Outwitting the Devil. Outwitting the Devil. You should read that since you that is a great one right there.
It's scary. It is scary because it lets you realize certain things, but it's like
yes. So basically, Outwitting the Devil. The guy's interviewing the devil, and it's powerful. And he talks about what.
Is it Napoleon Hill?
It is Napoleon Hill, but I think Sharon Lecture, she picked it off when he left off. She didn't put it out, and she just wrapped it up.
Right.
Rich Dad Poor Dad. You need to do Rich Dad Poor Dad. That book right there is life changing. It's like one of the most sold books on the planet. I didn't want to read it because of that, but no, that's a very it's an amazing book. Okay. He has one dad that thinks poor, and he has one dad that thinks rich, and he lives with both of them basically. And he gives you different perspective, and you need that because you need perspective to understand that I can get out of this box that I'm living in. But I tell everybody, listen, progress is key. Patience is the backbone of success, and keep striving. Like you have to live for progress. If you're not living for progress, you're dead. It's simple as that. Progress is the key to life. Honest progression. You know what I mean?
That's what's up. Well, listen, this has been a great interview. I would love for it to go on longer because I know you got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. But we can do this again. That's all right. All right. Thank you so much for coming down to Cumntalk podcast.
Nah, thank you. And that title, Come and Talk. Real quick, I tried to put the flyer on Instagram and it was like they flagged me for Come and Talk. I tried to advertise.
You're lying.
They was like, you cannot say these type of words. What? sometimes we would come see you and
It sounds like monogamy. But then when you come and sit down with me, you realize that this ain't all about sex.
No, it's orgasmic talk.
Yeah.
You heard? It's orgasmic talk. Exactly.
Here he is.
Exactly.
Here he is.
Orgasmic talk.
Hey, Sarah, thank you guys so much for listening. All right.
We out.
We out.
Oh man, thank you. That was good.
That was good.
No,